Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again to watch a little more of what I got going on the Loadstar. So it's Saturday about midday. I got home a little early from work yesterday and did a little bit of work, and then had to run and get groceries and do some odds and ends this morning, but did a little bit more this morning. So I am going to show you where we're at right now, what I did in the last few hours, and then I'm hoping we're going to take this thing for its first drive. It's wet and snowy. Well, it snowed a little bit this morning, but anyway, it's wet and warm now. Temps are warming up the last few days here in Michigan, and snow's all melting, and I live on a dirt road. I'm about 1,500 feet to 2,000 feet from a nice paved road. So when it's wet and nasty, this little girl is not going for a drive on the road. So so we'll drive it in the driveway maybe. But beyond that, that's the goal. So let me show you what I got going on. So I got screwed a little bit on a few things this week. Summit Racing, I'm not very happy with. So I'm still missing, most important, air cleaner and a shift boot and boot for the steering column. So bummed about that. Is what it is. They're all getting delivered on Monday. Hence another reason why it's not going to go for a nice long drive. And my guys that forgot to rebuild the steering cylinder had it for 2 weeks. Now they've had it for another week and it's not done yet. So we're only going to have manual steering when we take it for a drive. So anyway, those are the bad news parts. The good news is the air system is nearly leak free. There are a couple tiny ones still. I just re-pipe dope one fitting and hopefully that takes care of that. But we're getting there. Got the new low pressure warning switch installed. It works. Buzzer works again, as you can hear. There's our low pressure warning because I've been playing with air, so we're down to 0. So anyway, got the new parking brake fitting. Was able to actually find this old style that matched the old International. And you can see, if you look close, I had to drill out that center hole. Was I don't know, it's like probably a 5/8 to probably almost a 3/4 inch hole, to be honest with you. But anyway, so it covers up some of the writing, but you know, the bolt flange for the new one matched this old one. So all I had to do was drill a hole in that cover, the International Harvester cover, and then a hole in this bracket behind. Played with some couple new 90 fittings to make everything jive, but otherwise, you know, use the new knob because the old one was kind of pitted and chromed out. Anyway, this one's a little bigger too, so I like it better. But anyway, kept it original without having to have a modern, you know, yellow diamond style, which just doesn't really fit this truck. So that's done. Threw the seat base in, so I got something to sit on. So that took care of the air system. We got an overflow tank. Now originally yesterday when I plumbed this, you can see my wet mess here. When I plumbed this fitting right here, which I had to tighten that down still, this fitting coming out of the top of the water neck here, this one is going to my heater core. Sorry, and then we got a temperature sensor and we've got the upper radiator hose. So this on the Fleet Star went to the what I would call the overflow tank, which on the Fleet Star was mounted on top of the radiator. It was a big steel tank up here. Well, as I found when I plumbed it into this, it pressurized and it shot through the weep hole in the cap. It just shot a stream of antifreeze. So that's just going to get capped off like I have it right there. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it was there. And we're going to treat the overflow like I'm commonly used to on an older vehicle, which is this small weep hole right below the cap. It's just going to go into the bottom of that overflow. It's barely higher than the radiator, if at all, so I don't know if this is truly going to work properly, but anyway, it gives us an expansion tank spot, so it'll do. So that's in. I ordered a cheap aftermarket windshield washer bottle kit, so it's got, you know, the integral pump and just a nice plain looking tank. I think that'll work out pretty good, so we still got to plumb that and wire it, but that's on. I haven't put it on yet, but I have a new cable. It's all splayed out here. But bought a nice, instead of a $7 cable, bought a nice $30 Mr. Gasket cable. The action is a whole lot better. I'm going to take it out and lube it. And hopefully that works for that engine shutdown. Got a dash fan. That'll be sweet. And the big one is that the shop built my one-piece drive shaft for me. They built it with no warranty, expressed or implied. We unfortunately could not use any of the old yokes or I take that back. So the rear yoke was messed up. The slip yoke, all the Teflon was gone off of the splines. So by the time we replaced the rear yoke and the slip yoke, all we had was that front yoke. And that just didn't make any sense for a savings of a few bucks by the time, you know, I paid them to cut off the old one, and it just didn't make any sense. So that, coupled with the fact that this is a long-ass 77 3/8" drive shaft, that's just a couple bucks short of $1,000 worth of drive shaft right there, guys. That one hurt. It hurt a lot. But it's in. Worst case, if for some reason I have vibration issues, you know, I can find a cross member out of a frame somewhere and, you know, put a cross member in somewhere here right behind this dump cross member and split this boy into a two-piece. You know, we can still use the same drive shaft. We just got to add some pieces. Just more money, you know. That's how this project goes, or any project. My rear yoke on the rear axle was a little screwed up, to be honest with you, from me beating on it, but we reamed it and played with it and had to go this morning and run and get my dad's good snap-on tap and die set so I could chase the threads, but she bolted on nice, no problems once I cleaned it all up. So it's on and ready to rock. And I finished the lettering. That's all done, 100%. So that's where this thing stands right now. So I am gonna, oh, and then last thing, we got an oil leak. And I know, don't laugh. Some of you are going to say, hey, you bolted one giant oil leak in between the frame rails of this truck, aka a Detroit diesel. So I get that, but this one is actually, it's out of the oil filter. So I don't know if I got that O-ring in wrong. That's the oil filter we're looking at. Like it's a cartridge type. So I loosened it up, spun it a little bit, and tightened it back down. You can see my puddle down here from just running for a few minutes yesterday. So we're going to fire it back up real quick, see what it does. If it's sealed up, we'll let it down off the jacks. If not, then I'm going to have to drop that filter and see what's going on. But anyway, one way or the other, you'll see some video here shortly of this thing pulling out and hopefully going for a quick buzz up and down the driveway a few times. So, oh, sorry, I keep finding more. One last thing. I do have an exhaust leak, which really bums me out. But good news is, it's not my work that's leaking. You can see it right there. We got a blown gasket on the back of that exhaust manifold. I don't see any of the other ones leaking. It's just that number 1 or 6 or whichever one that is on the back there. So that's going to be a project for another time. We're just going to make sure we seal that doghouse real good, and it's just going to have to be. We'll fix that in due time. But you know, obviously that's a bit of an undertaking. Gonna have to take this thing back off what's in the cab, which is a pain in the ass, but we'll get it. And I think if we remove the air horn, that'll make it, the air intake horn there, it'll make it a lot easier. But get that off, and then we'll have to pull that manifold. And that might be an opportunity, to be honest with you, to change manifolds. You know, we might be able to find, I don't know, that's probably wishful thinking. But anyway, change it or repair this one where this flange is all messed up, and then get some proper studs in so it makes that downpipe easier to put on. So, yeah, maybe next winter's project, to be honest with you. But there we go. All right, well, stay tuned, and we'll see what's up with this leak and go from there. Guys, I want to show you this. I literally sat down to dig into the transmission manual. I'm sitting here next to the truck, and I start to hear a drip. And somehow, apparently this drain cock failed on the bottom of the lower water pump housing, not pump housing, but water housing, I guess I'll call it, on the motor. So luckily I had some, whatever that is, 3/8 or 1/4 inch, I think it's quarter. Luckily I had some quarter fittings and was able to make a plug and only get a little bit covered in antifreeze, as if I wasn't sweet enough already. So anyway, a little puddle, but it's good. So yeah, I forgot to tell you this too. I found this online. It's downloadable for the, I can't remember right now. I need to look on the tag if mine's an RT910 or an RTO910. RTO is an overdrive trans. I think this is just an RT. But anyway, it's the full shop manual. Most of it's about rebuilding the trans, which I'm never going to do. But hopefully I can find some info in here about clutch adjustment. So I don't have to screw around with the linkage too much because it's kind of a pain to get to. But anyway, so I forgot to tell you I got that. I also got this insurance and registration. This thing's legal beagle. We got our historic registration and yeah, our Haggerty insurance, which is way too expensive. But anyway, all right, back to reading. Well, as you guys can see behind me, the barn's empty because you watched that last video. And that girl out there, went for a ride.
So we got our oil dry down. We're gonna clean all this mess up before we pull the truck back in tonight. But let's see. One, oil leak fixed. Apparently that seal just wasn't seated right on the oil filter, so problem solved. All the coolant leaks fixed, less the seep in the radiator. So that's gonna be there for a while till I pull it back out and get it record. Air leaks. I think I got them all, other than some real tiny ones, but we're holding air pressure now. What else do we got here? I don't know. I guess that's about it. We did find another problem. I have almost no braking force whatsoever. I had my wife come out, push the pedal. Spring brakes. Actually, or slack adjusters are moving. The cans are moving. It's something to do with an adjustment issue on the brakes. So I'm gonna dig into that. And what else we got? I don't know. Other than that, truck ran pretty good. Basically, I was just being a PU, you know what, about the shifter. It does need a clutch brake, but I was also just being a wuss about it and just need to send it home, put it in gear, and go. So you saw it running and driving. This thing sounds amazing. I mean, amazing. So I'm gonna give you a little walk around, and so you can see it back at a distance and what the truck looks like. And she's all washed up. We had a little wash party. We washed this, and we washed little gorgeous Nancy back there, the F450, and we washed the Cummins truck. So here is the International. I'll just do a little walk around here. She's never been out of the barn and light with all assembled like this and running and driving. So there you go, guys. She's pretty.